What's going on, Dragon Ball? It's Scott7, your guild master here for Players Guild, and today I'm bringing you another out of the box deck profile. What is out of the box? Well, it's what it says on the tin. All of the cards you see in today's deck profile are available in one set, so you can get going out of the box. See, it's really clever when you think about it. This is mainly to help newer players or just a more casual experience, but we do encourage you guys to leave comments in the description below to help improve these decks going forward, and we will eventually revisit them and upgrade them to a more viable strategy. But this is what it is, so let's get into it. We're taking on Broly today, where you can't include non-Broly battle cards in your deck. So only Broly battle cards, quite restrictive, really tough, but that doesn't include Unisons, so that's kind of a nice little touch there, and you'll see it when we get into the actual list. Also, choose one red extra card in your hand, discard it. When this card attacks, draw 2 cards. So similar to Kaba yesterday, where we saw pitching one Universe 6 to draw 2, we're doing that with red extra cards here today. And when we're at 3 or less life, we can Awaken, which is draw 2, untap 1. So very strong Awaken, but you have to be low on life. We flip over into Super Saiyan Broly, Demon's Second Coming. Obviously, this is the one based off the second movie. When this card attacks, draw a card. If there are 7 or more red extra cards in your drop area, you can activate the Activate Battle skill on a red non-field extra card with an original energy cost of 3 or less in your drop area without paying its energy cost. If you do, warp that card. We also have an Activate Battle. Choose one red extra card in your hand, discard it. This card gets plus 5k for the battle. So just to reiterate, that first part is an auto skill on the attack. The second part is an Activate Battle. So really cool little effects. Basically a red extra card dot deck, but we do have some battle cards, we do have some Unisons, so let's get onto that. Let's start with probably the Outlier, which we'll go into here, which is Natande Village Ritual. You're never going to play this. This is a card you want in your opening hand to ditch it to draw 2 cards. The only reason it's in here is so this Broly can work. Now, Broly Slumbering Demon, when this card is played from your hand, draw a card. Standard cantrip, fair enough. But it has an activate main of 1 red, 1 unspecified. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, and there is a red field card with an energy cost of 2 in your drop area, you place this card in its owner's drop area. Play up to 1 red Broly with an energy cost of 4 from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So that's the only reason this is here, is so you can actually use Broly's effect. And then you're like, well, what Broly can I play? We only have 1 Broly that we can play with it, which is this guy, Super Saiyan Broly, finishing the job. Which, if we're playing him from the deck, he doesn't have any on-play skills. But when he attacks, you get to choose a battle card, and then minus it 10k for the turn, or choose a Unison and it gets minus 15 for the turn. Now, obviously, if you remove a marker skill off a Unison, then that power will reset. But if it's a 20k Unison, 19k Unison, you can reduce the power to it, and then just keep just make it easier for something else to attack. We have the Activate Battle on this guy. Skill, if your leader card, this is an auto. Limit 1, pay 1 red. If your leader card is red Broly, when you activate the Activate Battle skill on a red extra card with an original cost of 3 or more in your hand or drop area, play this card from your hand. So essentially, if you swing on your Awaken side and you use an Activate Battle for 3, you can pay this guy for 1. Really handy. Really good card. So we can play him from the deck, we can play him on board. Yeah, it's a 16k swing that can minus things, so it's essentially it's a 15 offensively, 20k defensively. Really interesting card. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Obviously, have to play him because he's Broly. So I guess we'll break down. Obviously, I'll just go over this same Unison as Kaba. 0-10 built in, but Sparking 5, you draw a card. You're going to get to Sparking 5 very easily in this deck, I might add that as well. Let's talk... we've done the Broly battle cards, so let's talk about the SR, I guess. That makes sense. This guy's got Deflect. He's a 6-drop with 3 specified red. If your opponent has 3 or more energy and you have 5 or more extra cards in your drop area, which, of course, if we're going to go for Sparking, then you probably will have 5 in there already. You reduce this down to a 3 cost. Auto, once per turn, choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. When you activate the Activate Battle skill on a red extra card with an original energy cost of 3 or more in your hand or drop area, you switch this guy to active mode. So that's a double strike that switches, like, that can restand and swing again. That's like 4 damage in 1 turn potentially, because it's 35k. That is a huge like boss monster. Good thing it doesn't have barrier and stuff like that. But we'll continue on with the effect. If you discarded, so obviously because you have to discard for the skill. If you discarded a copy of this card, you draw 2 cards and then choose one of your opponent's battle cards or Unison cards, ignoring barrier, and it gets minus 35. So essentially, it's just so good. You discard a copy of this guy to then minus 35k off something, as well as draw an extra card to replace the one you just discarded. It's so good. Absolutely fantastic. Love, love, love this SR. It does get an SPR version as well, so hopefully easy to pull. And that's it for the Broly battle cards. So let's talk about Unisons. This is where you're really going to get some value out of this deck, is this Dark Broly Unison. Permanent, if there are 3 or more red extra cards in your drop area, this guy gets double strike. It's a 2-drop double strike. Like, bare minimum, it's a 2-drop double strike. Really solid card. Activate main, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add a red extra card with an activate battle skill and an energy cost of 3 or less from them to your hand. You're going to hit this. Like, unless you're super unlucky, you're going to hit on the +1. And then we have a -2 here of when your opponent attacks with a battle card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, it gets minus 30k power for the turn. I keep doing this. 3k power for each red extra card in your drop area. So this could be killable. So say you got 5, 3 times 5. You guys can do the math. That's 15k, I think. Oh god, that's so bad if I got that wrong. But yeah, so we're going to use that as a baseline. Sparking 5. So minus 15 for, yeah, it's -2. But, you know, if it's a minus 15 coming at you that you don't want to take, by all means, use it. Because especially if they're swinging at you with something double strike or whatever, and it's going to remove markers, you might as well try and remove it via nefarious means, I guess. But yeah, so really cool Unison. We also included Gohan Kamehameha Miracle. It was mainly there just to fill the deck out. It's there for the +1 and maybe the -2. But yeah, it's this guy you're probably just gonna charge. Like that's it was there for filler, because if I added all of these cards, we were still a couple short. So that's why Gohan's there. And now the crux of the deck. Let's break it down. Why is this deck so good? Like, let's talk about it. Gigantic Meteor, one of the best cards we've seen in a long time. If your leader card is a mono red Saiyan card, reduce it by 2. So it is a 1-drop red extra card to use, essentially. Activate battle, limit 1. Choose 1. If it's your turn, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards that add up to a total of power 30k or less and KO them. That's pretty good in my opinion. Choose up to one of your leader cards or Unison cards. It gets plus 15k power and has its skills negated for the battle. Additionally, if your leader card is a Broly card, the chosen card gets an additional 10k power for the battle. It is a super defensive card or offensive card. It really does depend whichever one you want to use. It's removal. It's got everything. This card is just so good. And obviously the generic splashability of it. But in this deck, it's super handy because we will get that second effect as well, which is just so good. Just so good. Thankfully, it does negate the skills, so you can't make it like a proper pumped up double strike critical, which is kind of potentially possible. Talk about Demon Clan Cometh, or the Demon Cometh, I guess is the actual name. Let's be correct here. 1-drop red. Activate main. If your leader is a mono red Saiyan, we are. You choose a red extra card in your hand, discard it, draw 2 cards. Pretty standard. Just gets more cards in your drop area. Really handy at filtering out your deck. If your leader card is a red Broly, we are. You can choose. You choose 1 card in your hand, discard it, and send this card from your drop area to your warp. Play up to 1 red Broly with an energy cost of 1 from your deck. So essentially, pay 1, activate main on this guy, ditch a Natande village ritual, and then when your next turn comes around, I guess, so turn 2, you can activate main on this guy, warp it, and then play this guy. Obviously, if your opponent has 3 or more energy, so they would need to be on 3 energy. And then you can go into this guy. Not the most OP play. Generally, that you want to use Broly counter reversal. But we're just talking about out of the box, so that's what you can do. And that's not too bad. That's quite energy efficient, I would say. Yeah, it's just a little bit of a strategy, a bit of a synergy for you guys to go through. We have Demonic Barrier, permanent. If your leader card is Red Broly, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So this one's a Broly specific, and it brings it down to 1. Activate battle if your leader card is 15k power or less. See, that's kind of important. Choose up to 1 of your fit cards. It gets 5k power for the turn. Additionally, if that card is a Broly card, which all of our cards apart from the Gohan is a Broly card, it gains crit for the turn. So you can essentially make this a 35 double strike critical, which of course gets dual attacks. A really strong card. Let's talk about playtime. Demonic playtime with one of the most interesting artworks. Again, if it's a red Broly, reduce it by 2, so it's a 1 cost, or of course 3 in your drop area if you really want to use it on the leader swing. Activate battle, limit 1, draw cards, and choose up to 1 of your red cards. It gets 10k power for the battle. Additionally, if that card is a Broly, it gains double strike. So it makes cards like Slumbering Dragon, Demon, and finishing the job quite scary, because they never know what's going to happen. Like, if you drop this, like, it's pretty terrifying. Then we'll finally talk about Demonic Blitz, which is our counter for the deck. Negate the attack, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards. It gets -10 for the power for the turn. So combine this with the minusing 2 of Dark Broly there, your Unison. You probably be able to kill a threat. If your leader card is Red Broly, reduce it by 2. Activate battle, choose up to 1 of your cards. It gets 10k power for the battle. Nice and easy. Lemon squeezy. Ooh, the last card I do need to talk about is Demon Awakens, a 0 cost card. Activate main, limit 1, burst 1. For those who don't know what burst is, you just take the top card of your deck and put it in your drop area and repeat that a number of times as burst says. If your leader card is a red Broly card and you send this card from your drop area to your warp, add it to 1 card from your life to your hand. So this is basically to prevent your leader being like, oh, well, we'll get him down to 4 life. Oh, then he can't awaken, but we can just wait till we've got our kill turn. So that kind of helps mitigate this. Because early game, you're going to want to take damage from more pressuring decks, just so you can get there. And then boom, as soon as you get into like 4 or 5, you can just start activating this guy. From your drop area, which of course leads you to wanting to swing and pitch it if you want. It also is a 5k combo, which is nice. And that's it for Out of the Box Broly, guys. What did you think? Let me know. I think it's a really new player friendly deck. The only downside is there is 3 SRs that you have to get to play it. But other than that, it's quite a fun deck. I implore you to really pick this up. Like, if this is a style of play that interests you, it's really like a double-edged sword. So it's really cool, but there's a lot to the activate battling and energy management. But it's a deck that can be upgraded so well, and we'll look at that in the future. So, guys, again, if you've got any recommendations, any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this deck profile, give it a like. If you dislike this deck profile, give it a dislike, but let me know in the comments why. I've been Scott7, your Guildmaster here for Players Guild, and I just want to say one final thing, and that is rest in peace, Chris Ayers.